Hey, y'all come on in. You're here on a good day.
We have a new release from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements.
It's a beautiful morning with the Barbershop Duet.
Hi, I'm Marcus Klinger with Klinger Vocal Studio.
And I'm Sarah Vincent with Sarah Vincent Virtual Pilates.
But on Wednesdays and Saturdays,
we are the Barbershop Duet.
Hey, y'all come on in. Thank you for finding our little barbershop. If you happen to be here during one of the live premieres on YouTube, why? Come on in the live chat. Meet the Whiff Pack. Cool group of friends hanging out from all over the world. They'd love to meet you too.
They would. And for our mention today, Marcus would like to talk about the beard oils from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements.
Y'all know I am on a beard oil journey. I'm using it at the very end of my shave. After the aftershave, a few drops rubbed in to the face. It does not get humid here in San Francisco at all, so it has been a very welcome addition. I reached out to Douglas Smythe about my idea, but I am loving this, and it's a way to keep my favorite scents in the entire wet shaving world with me for the rest of the evening. And what is our soap today?
This one was actually part of the 2025 Advent calendar, so let's meet it.
All right, y'all. From the sales page at Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements.
Fiddler's Friend. There are, broadly speaking, two types of scents in this world. The first are the sort that politely introduce themselves, shake your hand, and then spend the rest of the evening trying very hard not to offend anyone within a 10-foot radius.
The second type does not bother with introductions at all, and instead quietly rearranges the atmosphere around you until you begin to suspect that you may not be entirely alone. Some of you know exactly what I mean. Fiddler's Friend is very much the second type.
It begins as all good misdirections do, with a touch of bergamot. Bright, agreeable, almost reassuring. The sort of opening that says, nothing to worry about here. This is, of course, a lie, because no sooner has the citrus flicker made its polite exit than the wood step in and take over the conversation entirely.
Cedarwood arrives first, dry and confident, followed closely by oak moss, which brings with it the unmistakable feeling that the ground beneath your feet has been there far longer than you have. Patchouli settles in like an old story that refuses to be forgotten, while spice moves through the composition in a way that suggests something is happening just out of sight and possibly just out of reach. And then there's the musk, not loud, not unruly, just there, observing, waiting its turn, twiddling its fingers.
All of this would be more than enough for a perfectly respectable fragrance, but Fiddler's Friend has never had much interest in being respectable. It prefers to rock.
Around the fire pits of Camp Phoenix, there are stories. The sort that begin casually enough, usually with someone staring a bit too long into the flames, and then drift into territory that makes everyone else quietly check how far away the tree line actually is. There is talk of a melody that appears sometime after midnight. Some claim it's merely the wind slipping through the branches. Others insist it's the unmistakable sound of a bow drawn across strings that were never, under any reasonable circumstances, meant for human hands.
And at the center of these stories is the Green Man. He is said to play, not often, not for long, but when he does, things happen. Creatures stir, shapes shift. Even the most stubborn skeptics begin to feel that perhaps remaining seated by the fire is an excellent idea after all.
One camper naturally did not agree. A boy named Harper once decided that curiosity was a far more sensible guide than caution. He slipped out into the night, following the sound into the snow. His footprints were clear, direct, determined. They led into a frozen clearing where, quite abruptly, they stopped. No sign of a struggle, no sign of a return. Just a single sprig of holly pressed into the soft snow, as if it were placed there with great care by something that did not feel the need to explain itself.
This fragrance captures that exact moment, not the fear, but the realization that you may have misunderstood the rules. #it happens. Now, as for how this all came to exist in a bottle, the story is, if anything, even less predictable. For real.
This fragrance is a real lost classic from about 2016. It was originally made for an old friend of mine who happens to be a genuinely excellent professional fiddle player. He had a fondness for my fragrances and quite sensibly decided that selling his own bottles of his own signature splash was far more interesting than the usual assortment of concert merchandise like t-shirts, CDs, or hats, all of which have the distinct disadvantage of not smelling like anything in particular. #try something different. Oh, I don't know. I bought some concert merch once and it smelled an awful lot like something familiar.
I made one batch. It sold out. I made a second. At no point did I think, yes, this will one day become a sought-after artifact in the world of wet shaving. In fact, I gave it very little thought at all, which, as it turns out, was a mistake.
Because thanks to the peculiar economics of the internet, one of these bottles eventually found its way onto eBay, where it proceeded to sell for roughly 150 smackers. This caused a great deal of confusion among shave cadets, who quite reasonably began asking questions like, what is this, and why have we never heard of it, and is this some sort of elaborate joke? For the record, it was not a joke. Yeah, remember the guy who disappeared in the Hall in the Forest? I probably only ever made about 40 bottles.
Naturally, once one person bought it, interest began to grow. Demand followed. The mystery deepened. And so, in a way that can only be described as inevitable in hindsight, Fiddler's friend quietly became the sort of thing people wanted precisely because they could not have it. Luckily, the scent is something special. Very special.
Fast forward 9 years to the 2025 Advent calendar, where Fiddler's friend made an unexpected reappearance. The reaction was immediate and, in some cases, impressively intense. Messages arrived. Requests multiplied. One individual was genuinely upset that we had apparently kept this scent from the shaving world for too long, which is both flattering and slightly alarming.
So here we are. Consider this full release a long overdue correction. Fiddler's Friend is a whimsical, deeply atmospheric, unmistakably masculine blend that somehow slipped through the cracks of time and reemerged as a full release 10 years later. It is, in every sense, a scent you almost never met.
And now that you have, it might be wise to enjoy it. Just, if you happen to catch a faint melody somewhere in the distance, you might want to stay where you are. Save on. And here's why I love Douglas and Fran. While they do have to rotate things for their seasonal inventories, I almost paid about that much for a set called Kiss from Australia, the only place you could get that Phoenix soap. Well, it was champagne. It came back here in the United States. So if the demand is great enough or loud enough, they will bring it back for us. So y'all, I have avoided seeing this label. We're going to get our first impression of that, the soap, the splash, and all of it. Come along, let's open the box. This box was a gift from Douglas and Fran. Thanks y'all so much. We do not have the restraint to only order a box this small from PAA. And here comes our first look at the label. I wonder if there's a hollow label. Here is the invoice. Here is the splash bottle in the special foamy paper.
That one will wait. Oh,
I love this one. Look at that. Y'all, hold on. There are Sasquatch. What is the plural of Sasquatch? Look.
What is the plural? I don't know.
That is that. Bananas. Oh, wait, it's
Loch Ness Monster.
Sasquatch and like Yeti.
Yeah. Oh, that's the green man he was talking
Loch
about.
Ness Monster, D.B. Cooper,
and Douglas.
Some kind of bat-like creature. Of course, and then there's Douglas Smythe just hanging out.
Right. So those are the Fiddler's friends. I see.
A Camp Phoenix favorite. Oh, I wonder if you could do a mashup with this and Camp Phoenix. There are hot dogs in Camp Phoenix, I swear.
There is a goldfish whispering into his ear. Hold on, y'all.
If you have theories about the goldfish in the PAA lore, I thought I had it traced back to Kane from 2023. Nope. Then I took a good look at our fresco label from the very beginning all the way back. Fish everywhere.
This one only has one. Some have three, some have one. It's very intriguing.
And here is the splash. Let's see the confetti and...
Oh, it does have the top-bottom split still.
This is a really handsome label, y'all. I love this artwork, and I'm very much looking forward to my first impression. Not the giantest list of scent notes, but we've learned that it can still be anything, even if you know the ingredients.
Are you brave enough to hang out with the Fiddler friends?
I think so. I think I'm taking it in first. All right, here we go. Oh, this is interesting. This, for me, is a Camp Phoenix barbershop. I'm getting clean citruses. I'm getting a clean white plaster from the walls. But guarantee you, this place is covered in creepy vines on the outside. Hold on. Whoa! I'm just bowled over by the sense of clean in this. Oh, a bright, peppery sandalwood opens the door to say hello. It's sitting on a fabulous base of a citrus that's a light bergamot scent in the traditional barbershop usage of such citrus. Hold on. Then before it dives down into anything patchouli-esque, I get this fabulous middle chunk of soap. Traditional, handmade tallow soap sitting right in the center of this, and it's beautiful. If you grew up with ivory, I got a clean 99.44. You know that sense. And then you know how, at the beginning of your journey, you used to read patchouli in barbershops and be like, I'm not even sure how it's in there. That's how it's in there. It's a very white, very clean version of patchouli. Not real earthy, not dirty, not soilish at all. Patchouli / vetiver. That's kind of how it's being used. And it's subtle. If you are not a patchouli or vetiver fan, you won't know it's in here unless you're looking for it. Okay, and my arch enemy, the oak moss, y'all, it's being used in here in exactly the way I love oak moss to be used. Not as a star, not as even a discernible note. And oak moss has some really unique qualities in perfuming because part of it binds to the alcohol naturally and part of it doesn't. And it ends up creating these little tendrils that the other scent notes can wrap themselves around. So it's kind of like the mannequin that the other scent notes are dressing up. You don't really sense it, but if it wasn't there, they wouldn't have that through line. Nothing really floral, but it's so clean and so beautifully subtly sweet that I feel like at the very top of my whiff, I do get tiny little echoes of like lavender and violet, like normally would accompany a bergamot in a barbershop. But you really got to take in a singer's breath. Call Klinger Vocal Studio. But I think in that analogy, the soapy part is the snow. Because as your whiff continues, each one of those other scent notes, the oak moss, the cedar, has a way of disappearing back into that fabulous soapy chunk in the middle, the way the footprints are disappearing into the snow. And this nails something I haven't talked about in a while. I am on a hunt for the Marcus Clean scent. Something a bit transparent so you wouldn't sense any scent notes on me exactly, but you would just have this sense that I was clean and put together for the day. This does that, and in a special way. All of the others that I've sensed that do that have a sweetness to them that it's really hard to take out, and it might pull against the masculine part a little bit. This doesn't. This does not go that sweet at all, allowing it to go beautifully and naturally manly. It's the patchouli that helps with that.
It did hint at masculine,
and
so.
the oak moss. I mean, it's going to be beautiful on you, but it's not La Serena. You know what I mean? Talky, but not powdery. The sweetness of chalk, but not like a baby powder kind of thing. Would go much better with my khakis and sport coat than my Mickey Mouse Club t-shirt. It's that. There's some dignity and elegance to this. Oh, and let's figure this out right away. There is nothing like dirty. There's nothing smoky. There's nothing fiery about this.
Right.
The fire pit is analogous.
So you're not actually getting whiffs of anything from the actual Camp Phoenix scent.
No. Okay. But you can tell it's outside.
All right.
You can tell this barbershop sits right next to the infirmary. The snack bar's way over there. They're serving atomic apple pecan pie. Do they have Tower of Sours and strawberry shortcake bars? Is a frog's ass watertight? Oh, and it's a beautiful morning. It's a beautiful morning segueing into a bright afternoon here at camp. Optimistic, this is. And you know, if you are fans of Sundown, Gillette Sunup, if you are fans of Shave Chaser, Skin Bracer, there's something about this DNA in the Camp Phoenix barbershop that has echoes, whispers on the wind of those things. But it is the barbershop at Camp Phoenix. I'm put my flag in that, so that would make sense. Would you like to be my fiddler's friend?
I was just letting you take your time.
I want you to take this in and see what you can find.
I'm so curious about all of this
know,
label
it's
action,
really
man.
Beautiful.
Okay. I feel like he could be wearing a flannel shirt. There's something warm and cozy happening in here. Okay, I got more of like a caramely color, not the actual caramel itself, but like that lighter brown kind of thing. Like there is something well loved about this person, whether that means they have like a favorite jacket that they wear a lot. There's just something that natural musky kind of a thing in something that you wear all the time, but it has a subtle sweetness to it, like that charm of the personality comes through. I didn't quite get the bergamot bringing me in, but I got something super welcoming. So I think it's just meant to like pull you in and then it kind of zaps away. The sandalwood, I don't know if I would have known without reading that that's the wood I was getting, but I would have gotten a light kind of creamy color along with that warm coziness that's coming through. There's no spices I can get, but there's something different about the sandalwood that I normally would be like, oh, that's for sure sandalwood. It's not as clean, but it doesn't mean it's rugged or dirty. It's had a little more adventure in life, maybe.
It's more peppery.
Maybe.
For me, it's not as creamy and smooth on the bottom. It's like effervescent on the top.
Yeah, there's a little adventure happening.
And it's funny, that was the doorman for me. I think it's kind of like what your nose is almost expecting can have an effect on which scent note greets you first.
My grandpa had a den in the house. So the rest of the house, everyone was everywhere, but that was like his room. It was still very nice, and if people came over, that was where like a pull-out bed and stuff was. But there was something about walking into that room. There was wood everything, like even like cedar-lined closets and stuff, like just that natural woody kind of thing came through. But it was always clean. And somehow that's what the sandalwood is doing for me. There's other like woods with it or something that are adding like a new place for me, but it's still familiar because it has that gentle sandalwood lean bringing you in.
He was a pilot. My grandpa played the saxophone, tenor sax. He claimed that he played with Tommy Dorsey when he came through Stockton, California once. He also claimed his appendix scar was a stab wound from the war, so...
I do like how masculine this is without being stereotypical.
Yeah.
It does lean more to like an old-time aftershave, but I think that's why I'm getting my grandpa's den or going to the family cabin that all the men kind of help build and bring about. There's just a natural masculine thing, but it does have the soapy, like Marcus Clean kind of vibe. So it's not like it's the stereotypical cologne push or anything that's like super vibrant and in your face and proud to be heard. This one I think would kind of blend into whoever's wearing it, but it would come off as clean.
Be a great barbershop, I think.
I swear I can hear like a harmonica in the background. I don't know why, but that's, you got morning, I'm getting more like eve is approaching. You better get ready to build the campfire.
As long as it ain't banjos, right?
There is like a subtle quietness about this, and I don't know if that's coming across because of the cleanliness, like the clean kind of talky-ish kind of a thing, but I almost like hear quiet. Like if you drop something, you'd hear it echo off the mountain super far away. Like there's not much happening around. So there is something like in the meditative side of shaving that I do feel like would come across here with the sandalwood, just like that calm kind of ease to your soul that sometimes you need to go to nature for. You could also do a shave with this.
And it's funny, the quietest thing I've ever heard in my life was standing in the middle of a snowstorm. Somehow it absorbs all the sound. And you're just like, this is wild. And it's kind of mentioned in the story.
I like that I don't get other pine or other things that can come off as cold or different greens. Like the way that the green's happening, I know it is not with the trees. It's somehow an earthy thing without going like dirt. It's just the natural kind of earth moss that hangs around.
And I think that's why I got a barbershop. I was expecting a lot more of the camp. This is an indoor scent.
I would not have known that there's oak moss in here if I hadn't read it. So if that helps you, if you're someone that same thing like Marcus is a little like, I don't get that. Like on a scent intensity, this isn't very strong to me, like maybe like a 2.5, but it is one of those ones that makes you lean in, which is kind of like this campfire vibe that you do kind of want to lean in, like there's a hush around the campfire.
Right.
It's something like that. It's not that it's not meant to be strong, but I do think it's one that's kind of supposed to be close to the lapel kind of thing.
Even when Mozart wrote a phrase for his violin that was triple pianissimo, like as quiet as you can do it, flautando, well, it's still meant to be heard in the back row of that symphony hall.
You just have to listen differently. And I think that's kind of like what my nose was doing. Like, I do want to be like a little, take a moment and take it in. Instead of like something stronger that I don't feel like I have to think as hard. I kind of like that you just have to take a moment to pause and enjoy it.
They can't all be Ethel Merman. Vector. That's Ethel Merman.
There's a timeless kind of thing to this. And I do feel like that's what adds to the comfort somehow. Yeah. Like it could be something that goes way back to like Old Spice days. Like there's just something about it that could be thrown in a different era, but is still current now.
Well, y'all grab your marshmallows and your sticks and huddle up by the fire. We're going to build you a lather and go back and look at these scent notes. All right, y'all, back to the sales page at Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. This does not have a list of like scent notes, so we have to grab them from inside the description. It all begins with a touch of bergamot. How do you get the citrus?
I think it might be more like the gentle rind of it. It's not too like florally sweet or candied.
Right. Cedarwood arrives first, followed closely by oak moss, and then patchouli settles in. How are you getting those three amigos? Which one is Chevy Chase?
You know, I'm getting the clean sides of each, which makes them almost like become something different, like how they interact.
Right.
Because I think that's why you were getting the clean soapiness. Like these are in there, but it's like the different angle.
And funny enough, I think part of the soap's being done with the oak moss, which is Chevy Chase. Is there sandalwood in this? Because I swear I'm getting it. Maybe it's just the cedarwood and oak moss that I'm sensing.
Yeah, it must be the musky side that's coming through. Like it's almost morphing the cedarwood to make it seem like it's a little creamier than it actually is.
Must be.
Or wherever we are, these woods are the lighter woods that we're in.
Right.
So cedarwood, sandalwood, like that's the image we're getting, that creamy tan color.
And then musks. Y'all. Well, as Douglas mentioned, not overly complex. But y'all, John Steinbeck rarely used words more than 3 syllables. You know what I mean?
It is nice knowing that this was originally created for a friend, because I do get that comfort of a friend through the scent somehow.
And wouldn't this be a fabulous scent to pick up at a concert? Doesn't it kind of have that American vintage vibe
little, yeah.
to it? Mm-hmm. The patchouli helps.
It does. But almost like an acoustic guitar lane or something like that. Like the fiddle side, oddly, is part of it too.
Coachella's happening right now. We got live cams on YouTube. And while we usually use our PAA lather lid or travel scuttle, both of those are meant for convenience on the road. This is a recent gift from our friend David, who has recently opened a new bowl making company called Brusso and Dove. They are absolutely museum pieces. And that pattern at the bottom of the bowl and the little channel that the architecture of the sides make as they leave the bottom are a whole new world of lather making for us. I'm just gonna grab about that much soap and she's gonna press it into the ridges on the bottom of this bowl. And how surprised were we a few Halloweens ago when our Cyclotrode X arrived in the mail, a surprise from Douglas and Fran. It glows in the dark.
What does it smell like?
I don't know, but I want it.
Do you any of you have that? You go back to your brush and you're like, what is that? I wish I could shit with that. But sometimes it's like a few things maybe mysteriously combined to create something better.
And a little rainwater on the Camp Phoenix never hurt anything. And there we go. All right, and how do you make a lather here in this barbershop?
I'm taking my dry Phoenix brush over here, and you start going one direction, getting some soap onto the bristles, and then you'll start going the other direction.
Not a completely dry brush method, because some of that water is making its way immediately onto the bristles.
And then I'll spin the brush and keep going until I get the soap out of those little groovies onto the bristles.
The idea at first is just to move the soap up onto the brush. Then you can do a face lather, leg lather, take it back to the bowl.
All right, now that most of the soap is on the brush, I'm going to start to actually build in the water into making our full-on lather here. And you are right, the curves on the edge here really keep it from actually having the soap get stuck. I feel like the bristles just slide right past, and it makes the lather a little faster even.
There's a lovely roughness somehow to the porcelain. It's almost like the copper of my Captain's Choice bowls.
Right, its natural aesthetic kind of really adds into it. I do like how this fits in my little tiny hands very easily. At first I was nervous about dropping it, like, oh, if it doesn't fit, I don't know. But it has a great grip to this thing.
Oh, is there sandalwood in this? Is a frog's ass?
I think the main star is still the cedar, and that adds the peppery kind of feel to it. But there is something kind of creamy and talky in there that I think the sandalwood's helping with.
Y'all, I know we never talk about lather.
Look at that.
Here at the Barbershop Duet. Wow. And this is something you will only find here on the Barbershop Duet. This is the You've Got a Fiddler's Friend in Me with on 3, 1, 2. That's nice. Smell for the soapiness.
Okay.
I get less of the ivory soapiness in here, just a touch less. It's a little bit better balanced.
I get a little bit more nudging into the greens. Not fully patchouli or oak mossy, but just a little more noticeable of the outdoorsy side.
There are vines on the outside of this barbershop. And y'all, we love watching our Ken Surfs videos here at the barbershop. They play on the TVs up in the corners, but we don't do shaving here in the Barbershop Duet, so we thought you would want to see how this coats. Y'all. I mean, y'all.
Yep.
I know, right? My face even feels warmer. So I got a coat on.
It's super nostalgic for me that I was not expecting. I really am in my grandpa's den. I can't get over it. That's crazy.
And he was an international commercial airline pilot, so there were all kinds of like teak wood antiques and furniture. It smelled beautiful. All right, y'all, come along with us. We're going to throw another log on this fire and start to listen for that distant melody. Sticker or plug?
I'm going to go with plug. Oh! I was wrong.
It's the sticker.
Stick up.
And pro tip, if yours does come with the sticker, take a terry cloth towel and buff the top of your restrictor, because sometimes a little bit of sticky residue can stay on that and it pulls the little piece of paper out from inside the cap, which is just the worst part of my day.
Now it shouldn't happen.
Let's do that together here. A little something there. And a little something there. All right, here we go. Chin chin. Oh, I'm getting something boozy. This is old aftershave for sure.
Yeah, right.
This is aftershave from the 50s or 60s if you went to Camp Phoenix.
Okay, so just bear with me for a second. So the difference with our Old Spices, the one that's from my other grandpa's closet, there is something that naturally ages with it that almost became more boozy. It's not, but there's something in there that adds this like deeper kind of caramely color. And I think that's the whiff I was getting when I first took a whiff of the soap. I was like, there's something deep and caramely. So yes, boozy is not wrong.
There is ancient aftershave DNA
Yes.
in this, y'all, but it's from a slightly different timeline. So you won't exactly know it.
Kind of like where they intersect,
Yeah,
you know?
right.
Not intentionally, but that's where the magic is at.
I'm told there's oak moss in Old Spice.
Okay, so in the splash, I might actually even use this. At first, I thought it was a little more masculine leaning than I was expecting, but I love me some camping and being outdoors, so I'm going to say something about just the cedar wood, not in your face about it, but the calming portion. That's the part I'm hanging out with.
You know the first shower you have after you've been camping for like
There
a week?
you go.
That's what this smells like.
Yep.
This is having the same effect on 50-year-old Marcus that the original Mr. Bubble powder had on 5-year-old Marcus. Only this doesn't make you have urinary tract infections.
Did the first one smell like a bubblegum kind of thing?
They say it did, but I haven't been able to find anything that smells like it for about 30 years.
Now that it's drying down, it's more like the drier side of the wood, more like that almost approaching talky thing for me. But when I first got a whiff, it was still like the fresh, brand new cedar. Now it's a little more aged.
So it's pretty simple, y'all. Just gather up a group of your closest friends, Sasquatch, the Yeti, D.B. Cooper. Just about the time somebody says, who brought the vial in, you're going to get your own. So head over to their website at phoenixartisanaccoutrements.com. Or even better, do it by way of the link in the description. It's an affiliate link, which lets them know that we sent you, and it gives us back a small percentage of the sale, which we'll probably spend on soap so we can make more episodes. It's at no cost to you, and we would be grateful. Well, I've had my shave, y'all, with Fiddler's Friend. You know why this is awesome? This is as if there were a classic aftershave from the 50s or 60s that went undiscovered, that we didn't know, that was unearthed when they opened the pyramids, and now we found it again with a few modern twists, but definitely echoes back to those things and those times that we loved so much. And in one of my favorite bases in the wet shaving world, do you have a trustier friend when it comes to holding scents than PAA? We don't. Thank you, Douglas and Fran. We'll be back. Hey, welcome to Messages.
So for our April giveaway, we wanted to give you a chance to get a $25 gift card to Noble Order.
Yeah, y'all, you can get tunes and spoons, and all you have to do to be eligible for this giveaway is send us an email here to WeSentYou at thebarbershopduet.com so we can get back to you. It's the only way we communicate about our giveaways, and then check back here on our first May episode to see if you are our lucky winner.
Best of luck.
This is not at all what I was expecting, but I absolutely love this one. This might be my favorite new PAA in the last month or two.
I really do feel like it fits into that Marcus clean scent, like what we've been looking for a long time. It is just, it's clean, but it's clean done with a way you're not expecting.
Right.
So it's kind of got that fun character added to it.
And I think there's something genius about the simplicity. Even when a master piano player plays Happy Birthday, you can tell. Well, Douglas, Fran, and Huxley, thank you so much for sending out this set for free to our little show to review. You remain one of our absolute favorite artisans, and we're so excited to see what you've got coming next. We've heard a few things.
Don't forget, your next appointment with the Barbershop Duet.
You'll smell better just watching this.